And if you're not familiar with Keymaster, it's just a cool guard and I like it. So Keymaster is going to be from whether they're in combat stance or 2 knees down. A very easy way to get used to like what is Keymaster is if you start an open guard, you open your open guard, you turn like you have a knee shield, and your other foot is inserted onto like his hip over here. So this is going to be your Keymaster. And you can use this in gi or no gi. You can start covering the arm to kind of close the distance, and it kind of just depends on what he's going to be doing here. Some people will do combat stance in here, so I'm going to attack that a little bit differently. Some people will be 2 knees down, some people will be combat stance up, and other people will like start standing up to try to avoid that. So what I've noticed the most in competition, as well as training and stuff like that, they actually do combat stance this leg up here. And they'll often be trying to push this foot down and then trying to cut over and everything else like that. So what I like to do is I like to put my foot down, like my toes are pointed down, and I like to pull in a little bit. So here it's hard for him to really push that down without really stepping that leg back. I'll show something a little bit fun from here a little bit later. But from here, once I see this foot up and I feel like I can get to it, I'm gonna go ahead and attack it. So, I might be pushing, going here, I'm gonna go under hook here. If I wanna access the K-guard here, your people that have K-guard are gonna be familiar with this. Or if I want to attack, and this is what I'm gonna start with, is I'm gonna attack this ankle up here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm going to squeeze my legs together, so I'm pushing the shin inward on his right side, and I'm pulling my heel, so I'm pulling him, which is gonna allow me, so I might be pushing, keeping him away, or holding on to his tricep here, which is gonna allow me to hip over and jump onto the ankle up. Okay, so again, that's gonna, some of these movements are gonna be a little bit counterintuitive and you might not be as familiar or comfortable with them. Just try them out. So again, I'm gonna pinch, I'm gonna pull to me, and then I'm gonna extend, hip to the sky, and then come back into the Keymaster position with a split here, but now I'm dropping to go the overhand grip. So again, I'm back here, I'm trying to keep my space. I'm gonna pull, push to square up, and now I'm gonna have the hand on the inside of his knee. From here, I'm gonna come into a short X, rotate that down. If I need to, I can push here as well, and then I'm pulling my butt close to me. So I don't stay down here. Hard to finish. Yeah, you certainly can. You can do some stuff here, but I like to come here. And notice I'm on my elbow. My thumb is pointed up. And you have like 3 or 4 different ways to reinforce. One thing I would caution, don't reinforce this way, because now I just made it a lot looser. And I made it looser mostly because my blade of my forearm is no longer on his Achilles. So I can either grab his shin, kind of rev an engine to stack here, come in there and start finishing. I can, like you're holding a pistol, holding a gun, I can reinforce there, or I can do kind of like the, I forget what grip this is called, but this grip, I don't do as much. The other one is I'll reinforce on my elbow, but notice I'm not allowing, if I had a metaphorical watch, which I wouldn't do when I'm doing jiu-jitsu, but I'm not gonna check the time. I wanna make sure I'm staying on the inside. If anything, I'm over-rotating a little bit, coming in here. Now, a couple quick things. I'll loosen it up so it doesn't bug him. Couple things is, one big aspect I see most people neglect to do here is we're rolling the shoulder forward a little bit, because that's gonna allow me to close that distance just a little bit more. And my elbow's tight and it's kind of like it's coming into me, like I just got like stabbed at, that hurts, right? I'm not trying to pull it back and go belly down or anything else like that. There's certainly finishes that are totally legitimate and totally fine to finish with belly down, so I'm not doing a belly down here. So I'm from short X, so this is what I call short X. I'm sure other people call it short X as well. A couple of concepts that I want to do is I want this inside of my knee pushing in a little bit, right? Like I'm trying to push him this way. I want my shin to be pushing on the back of his hamstring, and I want my foot, the blade of my foot on the inside of his like groin going up to his hip to be pushing out as well. So I want that to all have some tension. Not a ton of tension, but there's tension here. And I want to be able to isolate this ankle really well. So I'm down, and one other thing is I don't want to be leg over. I really think I start losing the effectiveness. And then if he like C-cups or pushes this up, then it's a little bit harder for me to finish. And I have to go to something different. I have to like start clamping in here. I like to be on his hip, right? So however I'm reinforcing, I sometimes don't even reinforce because maybe he's grabbing my arm and I'm trying to block it out and I'll still finish. But I want the knee out, reinforce, I want my shoulder shrugged like I'm doing a guillotine finish, right? And then notice when I'm opening up, I'm not opening my chest up. I'm opening my abs, right? So what that looks like is small, but if I open my chest up, what happens to the space? It gets bigger, right? If I open my abs up, the space stays the same, but I'm just putting a lot of pressure on it. So think about opening your abs. Okay, that's a lot of detail to start with, so don't worry, I'll cover it a lot. So we're going back to position. And if you need to move around, that's great, go ahead. I'll try to show from multiple different positions. So we're in this Keymaster, right? The things that he's gonna really wanna do are to push my foot down or push where my foot's going straight into me to really put that pressure, right? So that's why I'm putting my toes down and I'm engaging him, okay? I'm gonna pinch it together, pull, push, rotate, right? Going right into that bite, okay? From there, I want to get my knee in to short X. I'm pushing that knee out, push down, get to here, right? And I can close the distance. One reason, like, I'm not too worried about, say, like him taking my back or anything else like that, is I have this foot. It really limits his ability to come into me. I'm also not really worried about him, like, say, Estima locking me because his back is down a little bit, and I can always just push my foot through, and I can still attack this. So right here, I'm reinforcing whichever way you want to reinforce. Just keep this really tight, shrug, or put my shoulder over the top, and then start opening my abs, not my chest, open my abs, get that tight. All right. Questions? I'll still show it. Yeah.
In that Keymaster position, how fast are you moving? Do you get there and go, or do you get there, set up, and then kind of wait and then go?
So I think of Keymaster as a lot of open guards. I can hang out for a little bit, but I'm ready to transition quickly, right? And it's a great question because it goes into a different, like, kind of a meta, like, thought process. Open guards, like De La Riva, reverse De La Riva, they're often a transition guard. But if they're not forcing you to transition, you don't have to, right? So if I'm in here and I have this Keymaster and he's not sure what to really do, I can start working and continuing to cause him to react a little bit. So I'm not necessarily in a forced position to transition, but I'm ready to if they start to, cause either an opening or cause me to. I don't know if that answers your question, but I don't need to go boom boom right away. I can set things up from here because I can start coming in here. I can start making it react. So it's not something like you're gonna lock down like a closed guard, but it's not something as, okay, I need to make a connection from here. It's kind of an intermediary. So it's kind of a poor answer to, like, you'll feel it out as you like develop it a little bit more. But for me, I use it as like a static guard often, and I'm using it to open things up. I think someone has another question here.
Your top foot, providing a continuous pressure on his hip.
On the top foot, my left leg, I'm on the finish. On the finish, I'm not actively pushing away, but I have tension. So I'm not trying to continue to push away. I'm trying to get tension, and then I'm creating a frame. Now this frame makes it hard for him to kind of close a gap or even open my knee, but at that time, like, it's really tough for him. So yes, I'm continuing pushing, but I'm not Like I get to a point of pressure and reinforcement, but I'm not continuing to try to kick them away. It's a good question. Any other questions? All right, I'm gonna show it. Show it the back. So from here, I'm gonna pull, push, hip. So you kind of have to have abs here a little bit, right? So you're pulling yourself up, and you gotta drop your knee in here, and I like to push my foot on the inside of my own foot, pushing them down, and I'm coming up. See how I'm squeezing my hip? Reinforce. Let's go with facing here. Battling. No. Pinch. I'll let you guys toy around with that. I don't expect you to be masters at it right away, but we can start exploring that a little bit, and I'll see kind of where we're having a little bit of trouble and some difficulty there. Questions before we break?
You do it one more time?
Yeah, sure. So here, I need to have my toes pointed down. If they're here, like he's just gonna pop it out, right? Toes pointed down, pulling.
Wait, so that left hand's not doing anything? You're just like,
The left hand's not doing anything at what point?
like when you're moving, you just kind of use your whole body to move, or you?
Yeah, it's good. So like when I turn here, I'm coming up and diving and pushing on the inside of his knee. Then I'm collecting the space. Because in ankle locks, this is like, or for finishing ankle locks, if they're turning this way, it's really hard to finish. Even if they're down, right? Like if it turns this way, harder to finish, you're gonna go to heel hooks or whatever else like that. Or you need to have it at least here or this way. Becomes a lot easier. You can belly down, you can finish this way, a lot more optionality, but as soon as they come here, it's harder to finish ankle locks. So I'm pushing this to also go from here to dropping him on this hip, because he no longer has a post back here. Even if he posts, he's already on his hip, and now I'm finishing. Let me just show one more time. Just so I'm here, I'm in Keymaster. I pull, rotate, right here. I'm gonna drop my knee like I'd be entering an X, you know, especially if I had underneath here, but even an X right here, similar. But instead of coming to X here, I'm reinforcing to push him over the hill that way. Then I'm pulling in, and I have this right here, right? Shoulder up, or shoulder hunch over, and finish. Finish on the elbow, as much as possible. Yeah.
Yes, real quick. Where do you feel it? Do you feel that on your Achilles or like a?
Yeah,
Like
right
right
here,
in
like
the-
a lot of pressure. Like he's putting a lot of pressure within his forearm.
It's a this one in particular is a very similar finish to a guillotine. Like not an arm guillotine, like just regular straight across the throat guillotine, right? That's, if you have a guillotine and you're not putting that shoulder right on top of the head, it's very hard to finish. It's the same thing in this concept. All right, let's try it out, see how it works out. Ready? 1, 2. And then all of a sudden, like I feel like I'm going down as I try to hip up. His like leg starts going down. I think we're close enough, right? So when I'm entering, I want my arm. My right arm is what's really keeping the knee at the right area, because I'm trying to cover the top of his knee, the lower part of his quad, and holding it to my diaphragm or my upper abs. Even if it's lower abs, that's okay too. But I want that to stay. I'm keeping him sticky by staying here. Right? Then the heel is the rudder to get me to really get the angle of attack, and then I'm hipping up. And notice how when I'm hipping up and pushing my calf and shin into him. That allows me to attack directly versus just like trying to, I don't even know how to do it wrong. Like people like are hipping like kind of weird spots. Like I want to make sure I'm hipping up in, and if I need to, I can come over here, start going there, or if I need to also, I can bar and I go heavy, and notice how I'm finishing very, very non-traditional, which is fishtail finish. Right, a lot of people like they'll pinch, and we do that. I'll show that in a sec. But when you're here and you're doing the bar, you fishtail and you knee bar. But the big thing is grip, and you're not going super deep. You're just gonna try to, show real quick. I'm just trying to get to here, right? Like, I don't need to get super deep. I just need to get to here, and when I turn, when I have him pulled down, I'm on the top. This is what holds him into my pocket of my diaphragm and upper abs. Any questions? We're gonna do one, any other questions? No question over here? All right. We're gonna do one more thing and we'll take a quick break, just for water and stuff like that. So now, what I encounter as the number one, there's two main responses here, but what I encounter as the number one response that's also from the show is they kind of roll forward because they're like, oh crap, I don't really want to deal with this. I might be willing to give up a sweep or at least create a scramble. So we get here, I'm going here and he's gonna roll this way. I catch right away with this left arm and I keep it up. Here's all day finish, right? I wanna kick out, ideally, I don't need to, but I can kick out here and I'll push and pull this heel to his butt cheek, the outside, and then I can go up here because I already have this locked in. And as long as it's above the fulcrum for where I'm going to put the tension on, that's good. If he's a little bit further, I'll grab like pulling up on a rope, and I'll finish here. And then if he keeps rotating, he's really diligent about it, then I'll go here, or I'll keep this. Don't worry about this. I'll show that, but I've gotten that one as well. So we'll show from here. I go here. I'm trying to do it. He rotates. I have to get this. If I don't get this, it's now I'm trying to scoop while he still has an area where I'm not immobilizing him. And where I'm not immobilizing him is I don't have this yet. This, the saddle / leg over. So there's an avenue for him to continue to roll through, and now I've lost it. So I have to catch that C grip. So it's gonna be really hard. So if he keeps rotating, it's gonna be really hard because I still have this, again, the control is coming from that, excuse me, from the original grip hand. Now from here, I can finish by pinching heavy, pushing that left arm back and holding this nice and tight. Or I'm gonna keep pulling this up, right? I don't wanna just hold it because he can get that, even that little bit of space is all he needs to now no longer have an effective knee bar. I'm pulling tension up, so as he's trying to pull away, and I get to there, I have this knee bar finish. Let's put these this way. So again, right here, I don't need to get super deep. Just need to get here. This is plenty to be able to collapse him down. Get in here, he rolls through, right away, capture that C grip with an elbow frame. C grip here is no use, it doesn't stop him. I create that frame and I'm holding that knee down. Gives me enough time to either finish right away or come filter in, finish that knee. Questions then?
You're vacuuming?
What was that?
You vacuuming with that top leg?
Yeah, when I go through, and I'll either go knee to my chest through or over the top through, whatever I need to, depending on what he's trying to grab or whatnot. And I'm pulling that heel to my butt. Not fully necessary, I could also bar, but I find like I can pull my heel to my butt and then pinch my knees a little bit more of a traditional-ish finish of the knee bar, where I'm pinching my knees together. I have this C grip on there and I can hip in. Yep.
From that angle, can the ref interpret it as a lateral knee bar instead, which is, I think, is illegal for masters?
Sorry, say the question again?
From that angle, can the ref possibly interpret it as a lateral knee bar, which I think is illegal for masters?
How many names?
Because you're like,
how many names
your
do you
body
have?
is like sideways and,
It depends on how many names you have.
Exactly right.
No, I've hit this and I
Okay.
haven't gotten hit, but there's always some. But I'm not fully on to the side. The question is a good one. The question is, can this be considered illegal at brown belt master's brown belt or black belt.
Right.
So I'm right here. I'm pulling this in. If I come in with this, it's not sideways. And if you are worried about it, like, oh, I need to attack this fully, swim.
Yeah.
Come in here, now it's dead on. I don't like to swim that much here personally. This one, like, I'm just very strong here, so I can finish. Like, I get that, like, I have very strong attack here, so, and I can go right onto it. But if you need to, you swim over the top. Don't let this go. You swim over the top, and again, don't let this go. Just go down lower to the calf, and then just turn your elbow in, and now it's almost dead on. So you're not gonna get hit for it in IBJJF. It's a really good question though. Yep.
When you get the secret, is it once you finish the transition, or when you?
I catch it. So yes, when I'm going here, as I sense him transition, because I haven't reached yet, because I'll only reach once I get the connection to my abs or my diaphragm, then I'll reach to pull him. As I feel him going, I'm basically just tracking to find it. Okay, there it is, boom. And I'll grab it, and even if I'm grabbing right here as it comes down, or like I don't want to be trying to grab it while it's already too far. So as soon as I feel him rolling, I'm trying to track with my seat. Catch it, boom. Right here. Break that knee. Well, don't break it here, but I'm sure. Questions? I'll show it one more time, but any questions? All right, one more time. Let's do the down angle. So here, here, get to here, and he's like, oh crap. Right away, sometimes I'll even be here and I'll just hold, like, follow it. And notice, like, my foot on this side, I try to keep it as like a kickstand. Because if it goes here, it's just kind of loose, and I try to keep it as a kickstand. Even if I can't, like, say he's holding onto my ankle and I can't quite get anything, I'll just like figure for my own leg. Now this is when I'll swim. But that's like kind of an ancillary extra point. So if here, I'll go here, pull, finish. If I can't get through because he's now like trying to toe hold me or whatever, I'll just open it up. Finish here, come in. This is when I'll wait. Maybe. Where's the photo? Okay. Yeah, right there. All right, go ahead and go try that. Go a little bit slow, obviously, on the finish, but make sure you keep that. The C grip is the key to this knee bar. Very, very, very important. C is the C grip with the elbow frame is the key to this knee bar. Ready? 1, 2. I'm gonna show one more thing from Keymaster. Just know, like, one, I love Keymaster. It's really fun. There's so much stuff from here. There's arm saddle, trolley bar. If you're in the gi, you can cycle far side collar sleeve and Keymaster to do barambolos, to do overhead sweeps, matrix etches, all kinds of fun stuff from here. I'm just gonna show one. Before you get skeptical, try it out. Okay, just bear with me on this. The important thing for this, and you'll see what I mean by here, is you're not gonna follow, you're gonna open, and you'll see what I mean by that. Okay, so you're gonna be opening your upper body. So say you're in Keymaster, and this person's like, heck no, I'm not gonna allow him to do anything. I might even be on my knees right here, and he's trying to collapse me down, and he's trying to come up here and really work here. Okay, so from here, I want to get the elbow up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is, I might be trying to come underneath because he's like locking down. I don't like it, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna extend, drop, come in. Okay, so what I'm doing is, if people are familiar with like John Wayne or Giggler sweep, it's a similar lower body motion, but not the same upper body motion, because I'm really coming in. And I need to hold, and if you're doing the gi, you get any grip and just pull it and keep it close to you, because you don't want them to post. If they post, it's when it starts to get bad. And I'll show you real quick, like, if it kind of goes bad, what to do, you know? So again, right here, he's blocking, hunkering down. I'm opening my upper body far away, and I'm opening this way, not directly to the side, but fading him away, kind of sort of similar to the ankle lock. I'm trying to put him on his right butt. And I scoop the head, settle into the mount. Again, hold the skepticism until you try it out. So I'm right here, right out without pulling. I'm right here. I'm opening up And I'm trying to put my feet down on the mat and go down, but I'm not going to because he's there. So I'm rotating, coming up, and collecting. So let me show facing this way. Please collapse my leg. This kind of sucks. I don't really like it. I'm opening up. I have to open up. I know I'm being really repetitive, but if you're trying to like do it this way, I mean, I don't know whose IT band is strong enough to take. I do this to big guys all the time, but I'm not trying to come up in here. I'm opening up, creating space, and I'm dropping him. Notice how I'm dropping him at almost like a 45-degree angle over his hip, and then I'm dropping my left knee out and then going over the top. Right, so now.
Do you need to keep his posture broken?
He's going to be coming down on you. So it's a good question. So if he's postured up, I'm not going to do this because he's too far away. I don't have the grip. It's when he's postured down and kind of collapsing me. Is now, and granted, like if your like legs aren't that strong and there's a large size discrepancy, it's probably not going to work for you. But if your legs are fairly strong or they're about your same size, they're collapsing down on you, right? They're trying to get in. I'm opening up and I'm rotating. Right there. If they're postured, I'm doing something else. Honestly, if they're postured,
Right, even to pull, right?
I can force it, but what happens is if I'm pulling you down, I let go to get the space. What are you going to do? If you're already kind of postured, you're going to posture back up. This is for when they're trying to, because what they're going to be doing is they're going to be coming here and then trying to get out to this side or, jumping over there, whatever they're going to be doing. This is common, especially against like bigger guys against me. This is super common. They want to like be collapsing me down. Maybe they'll come back with their left arm and push this foot down away, and you can start coming over the top and passing over. I'll go here right away. I'll come out. I'll drop.
So you just feel his movement going forward.
Yeah, and I'm taking it away from him by expanding away, my chest away. And what's nice about it is, if I go here, I can't quite get it, I'll usually just close and come back and just reset. So for me, it's not like, oh, I put myself in a really bad spot and now I've lost everything. It's kind of like, I'm already kind of in a bad spot because I've gotten collapsed down. I'm gonna try to go, open up and try to go. I don't have it. Okay, I'm gonna post, do the Marcelo kind of post out and come back up and go back in the seated guard, or I can come back and shoot back in the Keymaster, whatever I want here. So we won't spend that much time on here, but we're gonna come either on the tricep and I'm pulling, flaring it up. I can go on the elbow a little bit, but I don't want to be on the elbow, I want to be above the elbow. I'm gonna open my chest up, right, and deep. I'm dropping him on his back hip. Drop my knee, because my knee's on top of his rib cage. Drop my knee, settle in. What?
Can you do it from the other side? The other way?
Which facing which way?
Left facing this way.
Like this, or?
Yes.
So I'm here, I'm opening up. I do this a lot,
So you're
surprisingly.
keeping that leg tension too, right, as you turn.
Yeah, so I'm creating tension. Was that your question? Yeah. Kind of like the John Wayne sweep. Right. From here. Well, I'm locked in. Yep.
Can you post with that right leg as you're trying to sweep him over?
When you post with the right leg, as I'm trying to sweep the other. So right here.
Okay.
Very difficult. It's really surprising, and where I have a hook is it's a great question actually. So where I have the hook, as he's collapsed, I'm at the top of here, so it's hard for him to extend out. Could he with enough time? Yeah, sure. But I'm going right away. And I know I see faces that are skeptical. I know it. But go ahead and try it out, see if it works for you.
Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Stupid question. Which leg muscles are you using? Are you using the hands, the quads, or are you pulling, are you kicking?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So you're using your IT band or your IT band area. So it's the outer part up here, and I'm using my arm a little bit, and I'm coming with the inside of my groin this way, but it's like you're going from here to there, here.
He's mostly opposite.
Alright, thank you.
What was that?
Mostly opposite.
And abs, yeah, it's your lower abs as well.
Are you pulling with the arm or are you just?
I'm just keeping it close. I pull a little, just again, like a lot of the things that I do to keep tension. Because sometimes if you just hold, and then they start to feel something, you're not holding enough, and they'll be able to pull back. I'm pulling enough to keep tension, and then going. We'll do that for a few minutes. I just want to give you something else besides just leg locks to attack from the other side. And again, I'm already compromised. I'm not in a really good position. He has both his knees down. It's going to be really hard for me to access the legs because I can't create the space to get underneath. And so I want to be able to at least get back to like where I want to be reset or even back to neutral. So I'll either hit a home run or at least reset to something I'm more comfortable with. All right, let's go ahead and try it. 1, 2. Okay, so now what I want to show is a couple of quick positions from Keymaster that is quote unquote failed. One thing I really like about Keymaster is usually the failure of a Keymaster is half guard, right? And I love half guard. I love me some half guard. So I don't really care. So in gi, I do far side collar sleeve, Keymaster, and half guard. In no gi, I'll still do a little bit of far side post collar. You can't really do the same grips, but I'll do Keymaster and half guard a lot. So if I'm in half guard, let's show you. If I'm in Keymaster, so I'm gonna show one last thing from Keymaster, and then I'm gonna show a couple things from half guard as they like de-evolve Keymaster. So from here, same thing that I was doing earlier, which was pinching, pulling. Instead of pushing to open up to attack the ankle, there's no ankle here. Okay, so how am I gonna access the legs? I'm gonna pinch and pull, I'm gonna push up, and then pull back. Now I'm in on K-guard, right? Same thing, or if I go all the way through, right? All kinds of fun stuff. So again, K-guard, I got a Keymaster, I'm pushing, pulling, push, pull. You can do it from just one pull, but usually they're like a little bit savvy to it. Then I can pull his leg in, and then I can access whatever I'm gonna do here. All kinds of stuff, right? So that's one thing. Okay? So now, say he's pushed me down, pushed my leg down and gotten to half guard. And I'm in really bad position. So I got here. What I wanna do is I wanna get my ankle back up. I like to get to here, cross, shoot that knee across, straight across, like a seatbelt, grab the heel, and now I'm gonna open him up, similar motion, over the hill, down, over the mountain, and then down the spiral. I'm pushing it open, getting that insert, dropping him down into that ankle lock that we did earlier. And I'll show that one more time from this position. So I'm here, I've lost the Keymaster. It's kind of re-engage my guard, I kind of push him away, or I'll come underneath. Either way, just depends on how he's gripping me or whatnot. Here, shoot across, open the heel, kick out here, come to the hip, from the hip. If I want to be nasty, you guys have seen this, right? If I want to be regular me, I'll come in here, finish. Okay, now I'm in half guard or whatever, and he's weaving past, or he's leg dragged and he's got me stuck here, and I don't really like it. Okay, this, I'm gonna come up, drop in. From here, I can do one of two things. I can fade away, or what I like to do is come in underneath, and now I'm in saddle. Okay, this will organically happen. Say you start to leg drag, and I really block this out to get to this foot on the outside. Now I can come in here, come up to there. If they're really good at stopping me from closing the distance, I'm saying I'm right here, you stop me from closing the distance, I'll come up, and then I'll fade away, come speed up. Then rule set matters, right? Does that make sense? No. So I've gotten stuff like past or here, maybe they even have my, they're stapled here. As long as I can get my leg out and here. I have an underhook helps me. This much space, I'm gonna be able to do it all day. I come underneath, I grab my own shin at the top of my ankle or the bottom of my shin, and I'm rolling through just a forward roll right into here. And then one more here. I come in. Oh wait, last one I want to show. False reap from standing. So this is a really fun position. So if I'm here, I like to be here, right? So I know some people like to false reap deep, or like they like to be up a little bit more. I like to be here. What I'll do here is one of three things. There's a whole blueprint here, but I'll kick through. Get out. Short. I come in, scoop that here. Rule sets matter, right? That's available, great. If not, okay. If not, okay. Right? Black belt, adult rules, black belt or brown belt, master rules, blue belt rules, white belt rules. Okay. The other one, if I'm here and I don't quite have it, I come in. Oh my God, it's pissed. Again, blue belt, black belt, master, black belt. And then if you want a fun drill to work on your inversions, I mean, I've seen everyone, you want to stand up? Everyone's probably seen this one, right? And you go all the way around, it's cool looking, right? That one's great. The one I like to do is I like to be here. So, let's see. I go here. So you can do your K-guard to saddle entries. So I go here, blade of my foot, I'm in the strap, coming here. I can be either down here or all the way down here. All right, we're at. Questions on that? There's a lot. I told you I was going to give you a lot. I just want to kind of give you guys other things to think about. Piss off your professors at home. Any questions on that? All right, so I'm gonna open it up for just a few minutes for Q&A before we get out. And then if we can line up on the wall for a picture, it'd be great. Thank you guys all again for coming out. For Q&A for this, for competition, for life, whatever, let's hear it. Don't be shy. I want to change gears a little bit, give a little bit of, for about 30 minutes. I'm gonna throw a lot at you guys. It's gonna be fun because I want to, one or two of these, maybe you'll start like thinking about trying to drill later, a little bit later. Sorry. I'm gonna do a knee bar from passing. Actually, 2 knee bars from passing, give you a little bit of extra stuff to deal with. So, open guard passing. 2 ways I like to open guard knee bar from open guard. If any of you guys saw the height video, you'll see one of them. I'm gonna do right now, and another one's gonna be a slight variation. So I'm open, I'm trying to get past, I shelf into here, I get past this front shin. From here, I get my arm in here, like I'm trying to like open them up, or like coming over here and stack pass or whatnot. But I'm a knee bar instead. So I'm out here, I might even push this, and I get my shin to shin here. I get here, I'm rotating out. I'm gonna put my hand on the lat, and I'm shooting my knee across. Elbow down. I don't wanna go down all the way to my side. Elbow down, put my heel right on his glute, trap that knee bar, right? If I need to, I can kick this back out, but I kind of don't like to, because oftentimes it makes it too heavy. And one of the nice things here too, is if I came down and I don't quite have it, I rotate right in the saddle here. Okay. So here to here. Knee bar finish. He keeps rotating and I don't like it. I go right into saddle. Then from here we can do a lot of stuff, which will, if time permits, I'll cover. So again here, get out in front. I like this anyway, because I can go on passing. Joseph Chen does a lot of these. You'll get right here, I'll get here, I'm slippery because I'm sweaty, but I'll get here, I can start doing those kinds of passes. And you can team that up with this right here. Talking too much. So again, I'm coming shin on the inside. The only thing you really need to watch out for is those freaky reverse or false reap guys. I'm coming over here. My right knee, I'm gonna come onto like his pec or his lat here. Knees coming across, not on him, past him to the elbow, getting nice and deep. Again, common theme. I like to have this like to the front of his quad and the back of his knee. This should also look familiar. Very similar position. If I need to, I can come here, bar finish, totally fine. Questions? Yeah.
This is a similar. My leg is caught me standing with toe holding. How do I prevent that?
Hold you?
Yeah, when you push your knee across, and your leg is like this. If you do it, I'll show you. You can do it one more time.
Okay.
I'll show you. And right there, like yeah, right. My foot is always on. his leg.
My left one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, your chair like that.
Kick it up.
I'll ask you when I do.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't want to hold you. You are faster. You better at shootouts. I can show it a little bit. Any other questions? Careful when you're entering this. Notice I'm not like coming hard on you or something, anything. I'm going over him. I might like grace him or something like that. But my knee, I'm trying to go over him and then get that.
That foot on the shin, does that end up being a bit of a defense for him if he really kicks off to get like some space between him and kick it?
That's a good question. Start right here. So this foot here is going to kick off hard. Can be, yeah. I mean, I'll usually, if I don't quite have the knee bar, I'll just go to saddle and, oh, that's fun by me, you know. Good question though. There's always trade-offs. The next one I'm going to show is going to be the split on the inside, and you'll see it like slightly different. All right, let's go ahead and do that for a few. Go slow, controlled. You don't need to, like, you can really just show the responsible way. Coming in here. So I rotate, so now I'm like perpendicular. I'm posting, I'll go over. But notice how I'm not dropping on him, I'm going over, then come to my elbow. Shouldn't be a whole lot of effort, like a whole lot of pain, on him or anything. And then I can come right in here, and we should be finishing very similar to what we did before. I can open, finish, if I need to, here, I need to kick out here. Feel the finish for you.
Dave, is the post on his chest or his lat, is that just to make it easier for your leg to come up? It doesn't do anything else, right?
It's also to allow me to be more safe with my partner. Because like, if I didn't give a shit about him, what I would do is I just, right? And if I landed on his floating ribs or whatever, I don't give a shit, right? But I care about him, so I want to be a little bit more controlled. Some of you here I call it limit poke. No, I'm just kidding. All right, ready? 1, 2. One of the things to kind of keep in mind here is like a lot of positions, the more you can have a couple different like ideal, your primary, secondary, tertiary, the better. It's true across all of jiu-jitsu. But here is like, if he knows I have a good, ankle lock from here, he's going to be aware of it. He's going to try to defend against it. So I want to also have other options here. So one of the other options is going to just be entering in K-guard right into a knee bar. So we're going to still go off of the same scenario where he has the combat stance from here. And one other thing is, if I have my left knee shield, just like in a half guard or anything else like that. If my knee shield is compromised, it just makes it harder to be able to do anything here. So I want to be at least across his pec, or sometimes even up into his like his pec insert and where his shoulder is right here. So from here, I can be pulling him, pushing him. I come in, now I'm going to go into a scoop grip, right? Thumb up, coming over and grabbing the meat or the blade of my hand, depending on what you want to call it. And I'm going to pull him close to me, and I'm going to do one of two things. Like if I just want to access his leg, I'm going to go into his armpit and push him away, right? For this one, I don't want to access just his leg, I want to access the knee bar. So I'm going to come all the way over, and I'm gonna heel to the bottom of his glute, and I'm gonna come right into the knee bar. So this one's fun because you can catch people off guard, and then there's a whole lot of series to go from afterward. So I'm in my Keymaster. I might be coming here. I come thumb underneath, either where my hand is out or where I have my blade access. I think some people like this, they'll come here. I personally like to be a little bit deeper and have a gable grip. I'm gonna pull this tight, and I'm either going to swing this around if he has like up, like a inside, I'm either gonna swing this around, or I'm gonna bring my knee straight across and then hop over. I wanna be down to the glute and flare my knee out. So now I'm creating like a bar here. Keep this right hand tight, come onto the rudder, and attack the knee bar. How I'm attacking the knee bar is, notice how my bar is staying the same. I'm grabbing the rudder, and I want to be dead on the knee. I'm pinching my leg together while still keeping the bar. So I'm kind of like hamstring in, the outside of my shin, so my calf is pushing down on his grip. I'm pulling this arm, this right arm, close to me, so I don't want him to be able, if he can move it out a little bit, I lose the knee bar. Which is not the worst, right? Like I can start going here, or I could just go force into 50-50, which I love. So it's not all the end of the day, but I want to be pinching, use this as a rudder to really get that angle of attack. I stay here. Some people might try to come over here. I don't really like to, because I no longer have the angle of attack. If I do come here, I'm gonna be coming in too, attacking on this side, but we're gonna go over that in a second. I'm not sick, I'm just recovering from pneumonia, so don't worry if I cough a little. So right here, I'm coming underneath. I'm either shooting across or I'm swimming over. Get to the bottom of his glute, top of his hamstring. I'm pulling that knee close, and I'm trying to turn it as much as possible. I'm not gonna be able to turn it as much as I want without the heel. So that heel turning the blade of his foot to like my chin area is where I'm gonna get the angle of attack. And from here, I'm pinching my legs together, and I'm hipping in. And I'm pulling this in, this heel in. Let's go. Facing this way. And then have you facing this way. Sorry, I'm making people work. Go slow on the finish, and keep in mind, excuse me, keep in mind knee bars, in my opinion, and what does my opinion matter? Doesn't, who knows? But in my opinion, are not any more dangerous or any more like dramatically dangerous than an arm bar, as long as you're not rotating as well, right? If you're doing dead on attacks, it's just like an arm bar where like, oh, that hurts more. Oh, okay, that's enough. So as long as when you're going in, it's not off to the angle and you're like really ripping it, going slow and controlled can escalate the pain, you know when to tap, okay? So from here, when you're going, the person on top, just speak to the person. You know, it's like, oh, like I'm starting to feel it. Okay, there it is. And has anyone tried to armbar someone when they're off to the side? It's very difficult, right? Dead on, you can get it. Unless you have those really flexible people, and you're like, oh, what are you gonna do? But on here, if it's dead on, you're gonna get it. If it's slightly off, you're not gonna get it. And so that's why when I'm pulling in, I'm trying to pull the kneecap to my abs and then get the rest of the way with the heel and the outside of the foot to my ear. So then this, like I call this like the home base, the compartment, whatever you wanna call it. Here, the legs, now I have full attack, boom. I'm creating that lever. So that'd be your hip on the armbar position. I'm getting there, I'm getting the right attack, hip. It's the same mechanic for braking. It's just you gotta hold it a little bit different because it's a leg versus an arm. I'll show it one more time. Any questions here? I finish with one hand on the heel and the other hand trying to hold it as much as possible. If I've locked it all the way and I come up a little bit, that's fine. But I would prefer to hold the knee line, the K entry here. I prefer to hold this close because as soon as I come up here, his knee's gonna start coming out really easily. I'm really trying to hold this. And if you have to, you hip this out and bar it. I'll make a note of it a little bit later probably, but the bar is usually the inside leg, and the overlap of the bar, the reinforcement of the bar, which is the bar meaning like the cross horizontal, is the outside leg. Questions here? We're good to try drilling this a little bit. All right, 1, 2. Here, instead of coming here, and someone asked me a good question, is like, why do I like this one first, or why I'm showing this one first? Optionality, right? Like I can get this passing, right? And I have options besides that. If I come in here, splitting leg, and I grab here, like most people that know anything about leg locks are kind of ready for that step over, which we're gonna show because like not everyone's ready for it, but it's really fun to do. But I'm also opening myself up to getting entangled a little bit easier. Whereas here, I'm not worried about entanglement as much. False root maybe or whatever, but not too worried about it as much. When I'm on the inside, one thing is really important. I do a lot of C grips in a lot of different positions, as you might notice, is I do want to start trying to pin that other side. I do want to start pinning down this other leg, right? Because I don't want to just come in and start trying to go here. You might reverse the heel, post here, whatever it might be, and start slowing me down from being able to actually attack that. So I do want to C grip post that leg to the mat. So here, I step in. This is how I do it. So other people might do it differently. I like to step in, come through, right? And then you notice this one, I'm deeper, my hips are to the sky, then I'll come here and finish, right? And then this one again, if it doesn't work, I drop off the saddle. This one I'm gonna do a twofer technique because we're running a little bit low on time, so I wanna show a little bit. So we can enter here, right? I come to close the distance, I rotate through, boom, I'll get my leg through. So the one before, because we were kind of coming at an angle, I kind of kept it and I C-gripped it. This one I'm gonna come here and I'm actually pretty okay going straight into saddle, or if I feel I have it, finish the knee bar. Go to saddle here, okay? Saddle is a beautiful, beautiful thing. When before I have control, I'll keep a very shallow hook grip. So you notice but I'm not going here. Going here and I'm covering exactly where I put the hack on right below the glute and on the top of the hamstring. I'm putting my foot in the same spot here until I get a good position, and then I'll replace my left foot underneath the glute and the top of the hamstring with my right foot, and I'll put my left foot directly on after I also collect this. So I'm hooking underneath. This is fully legal in IBJJF, even masters. I can't do over here. And like prison rules, you can do whatever you want. But if you're in IBJJF, not black belt or brown belt adult, I have to stay underneath. I'll come under here. From here, I have a lot more optionality. The reason why I don't like to do this, or I don't know, like the reason why I like this is now I have access to this far side. And I'm not really worried. So what he's gonna do Usually defense is a sit, right? You're gonna push away, that's it. Here, see, I can keep it, again, like this, that grip. Same thing with the other side. It's this grip that holds me in. So he's pushing me away. I can still kind of scoop this up. Pull this up. Now from here, I'll come back up. I love ankle lock. So you'll see ankle lock all day, or ankle lock here. Or if he starts to turn too much and I don't like it, I can always come up. I love S-sitting to get out of saddle. So it is usually the right answer. The more I can slow him down with 1 or 2 good grips, the better it is. And the more optionality I have on attacks, the better it is. So again, here, I close the distance. I don't like trying to jump here. It's always loose, right? I see it all the time and people just get smoked that way. I close the distance and then I can go right into saddle. From here, come up. Then I can come cover here. If I want to attack the far side before he starts getting out, say he's like, oh, I'm not sure what to do or whatever, I'm gonna come punch grip. Not even grip, I'm just punching, pulling it to me. I'm not gonna be able to really grip this easily. He's gonna be able to pull it out a lot easier than if I punch and pull. Then I go super deep, just keep it flared out a little bit so he doesn't double trouble me and we go into a shootout. Just keep it flared out a little bit, get my own ankle, push, or get my own ankle, push, and if there's some, genitalia that gets smushed, so be it. Right here. If I don't quite like that, I want to go deeper and go right knee bar. And that's not what counting like heel hooks or anything else like that, which obviously I'm not going to cover here. But there's so much you can do from saddle. Last time, come in here, I'm closing the distance, right? Because I would want to be doing that anyway. Closing the distance, then I'm going to go knee bar. I don't have it. I'm going to jump all the way to my right shoulder and come up on my elbow. I'm going to have this tight, scoop up. That's when I replace the foot, the right foot underneath the glute. Close here. I might even keep that. I like to do this usually. Most of the time, I'm going to this far side to scoop this. And what's your reaction usually? Yeah. It's good. And then I can always come back, reset. If I really want to, I can move on there. I love this as well. I come back up here. So your far side, punch grip, ankle lock, finish. If you want to toy around with dropping back down to the knee bar, especially if you get here, especially if you get here, he doesn't like it. What I'll do, I sort of pinch my legs. If I don't pinch my legs, he's gonna come out, come in here and finish. Toy around with that a little bit, because I still want to do a couple more fun stuff. So I'm gonna throw a lot at you the last couple minutes because it's fun for me. And you got a video of it. All right, ready? 1, 2. This where I pointed it out. What's the difference? The difference is one, if I go to my shoulder, now I have one way to go and I either finish or I don't. I can probably still finish, right? I have to go belly down and I have to kind of like turn and look back. And it's totally fine, but here, like, I'm not creating tension by doing like the more of a toe hold type ankle lock, which again is a totally legitimate. You're just gonna hold that a little bit different. That like break mechanic is gonna be a little bit different. And if I don't get it, I don't really have recourse. It's not like I can continue to progress from there. So I stay on my elbow because I can keep going. I can keep opening really hard versus rotating around the corner again because it's an Achilles attack, and maybe you also might feel on top of your ankle as well. And then I can always come back. I can come up and take my sweep if I need to. So I don't do that, but like in case some people play points, you can come up with the sweep points. So just keep that in mind. Another thing that we really want to do is on our Keymaster, if we're not moving him forward and controlling the distance by pulling him forward and pushing him back, we're probably not going to be able to get the motion and movement that we want, because he's either going to be able to keep tight to you or just disengage as he needs to, right? Also, when you're stepping up, don't step up high, because no one does this. If you do, stop doing that, because you're just going to get swept and ankle locked a lot. You're going to be more off to the side, kind of like if you're going to be stepping up. Okay, so notice how Fuki's not stepping up high. He's far away, and that's what's causing you to need to do this motion to get to him. Otherwise, I would just take it and you know, run with it, right? So yeah, I'm going to be squeezing together like I'm trying to you know, squeeze his midsection. I'm not going to do much with it, but it's going to allow me to be able to pull. Because if I'm loose and I try to pull, he's just not going to go, right? Like I'm not going to be able to move him. So I'm going to squeeze his midsection, then pull him. Then I'm going to push away and use that pushing away to get my hips up to the sky, right? Then I'm going to reach and attack there. And right away, I want to get my foot on his chest before he starts trying to collapse. Get my foot on his chest or his stomach. Then drop my knee and then push him over to that side. Now, from here, I don't want to keep this distance. I want to close this distance, reinforce my ankle lock. Reinforce my ankle lock while telling you with like rev the engine and then stack. And now I think of this as one component. I've frozen this, I've put this in concrete, shrug my shoulder over the top, open my abs. I have that much distance. I go to my shoulder. Now I've changed the attack angle, and I don't really have his toes tucked really well to create that motion. So yeah, I might be able to. I'm really strong, so yeah, I might be able to take this anyway, but it's gonna be a lot harder. And I might even switch off to this and like regain. But we're gonna go over that right now. Okay, so we're gonna go back out real briefly, but keep in mind a couple of spots where I saw the most challenges was you're really pinching those legs together, pulling, and then you're extending, especially with your left, but you're doing both, but especially with your left, to use that to get that hip motion. And then right away, I'm not gonna stay here, right? This is kind of a shitty spot. This is definitely transitory. I'm using that right away to get to here. First, I wanna get that frame in. If I don't, then he's gonna start coming down, and this kind of sucks. Like I might still be able to, but it's gonna be really hard. This is what the foot on the inside of his abs or his chest is what's gonna prevent him from being able to come closer to me. Then I drop my knee like I'm gonna go into X, or if I'm going into K, you know, it's a similar knee position here. Then I'm gonna push him down to that far hip, and then I'm gonna close the distance and come up on my elbow. Reinforce however I'm reinforcing, but keeping that blade of the foot on his Achilles, get that shoulder over the top, and take it home. Any questions? Go ahead and go back with your partners just for just a couple minutes. So do one or two in the switch, and then we'll move on to the next move. Ready? 1, 2. Saying to one of the groups out here, leg locks are like, if it's almost there, you're not there, right? And so like you need to get it all the way there to be able to be effective. So if you're having a little bit of trouble, don't like get too discouraged, because sometimes if it's just 5% more, 3% more, then like that's the difference between finishing and not finishing. So we'll continue to work on this. I'm gonna continue on unless there's any questions right now. Does anyone have any particular problems or anything they want to say real quick?
I do actually. When you're finishing the knee board, do you want to bring your butt all the way up?
As much as I can, yeah.
Okay.
And also reasoning, I'm trying to condense the position and then expand the position. So what I mean by that is, so as I'm far away, I get here, I'm trying to condense the position as much as possible. Now I'm like a little like rat terrier on his leg, like all nice and tight, right? I don't want to bite it. And then I get the good position I want, and now I'm expanding my hips and expanding the position. You're not always gonna get a finish from here, right? Like you gotta have to catch someone unaware. What I'm really going to do is I'm gonna get reaction here. And now I get to decide, is my reaction now going to be get them to 50-50, which I love it, I love 50-50. Am I gonna get them to bail out, in which we're gonna show that? Or am I going to get them to react in other ways, right? Or can I get that? It's one of those things. It's like they either react or they get submitted. So this is a fairly high position entry that I have. And I don't always finish here, so I don't want to like set up some illusion like I'm finishing people all the time from here. But I do finish people here quite often. I did this at Master Worlds. I submitted someone right here. So you know it is feasible. But more importantly for me is I'm using it to then enter a follow-up attack, and it might even just be okay. They really bail out. Okay, I come up, I get my 2 points. Like that's a win of itself. Does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other questions here? Yeah.
So after the entry, right, you kind of rotate, aligning myself to the scene. I felt like I kept coming down on the scene instead of coming back on it, I guess.
It's interesting. I'd have to see it. Can you show me? I'm gonna put you on the spot.
No,
Okay.
Super, I mean, as simple as possible.
Simple as possible. What I'm gonna do. Okay. I do this a lot, especially when there's not points involved. So what I'll do is I'll start coming up, and then I'll drop right in to an ankle lock. So I'm taking the top side ankle. So I'll come up right here. Okay. So even if he has reverse, I don't mind. I just gotta get here, come up, and I have to turn hard the other way or I'm gonna lose it. If I really push, it's a very similar motion to what we've been doing before, and I get here. And I'll kick him in the face if I don't like him. I'll show him the pack or the upper body if I don't, I'll take that. If I don't quite have it, notice I'm not on my elbow, because I haven't entered it from a really nice spot, I'll come and stack. I'll come and stack this here, and this is really super powerful. If I don't want to like rely on my ability to come over the top that way, is I'll come up to the headquarter, then jump into that. 2, 3 claps for the class out.